Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Three Pete After Me as we continue to talk to some of the key pieces in the River Dogs back-to-back-to-back championships. A real treat today as we were able to catch up with Chandler Simpson and Xavier Isaac, two really key players in the 2023 season and guys that have really bright careers and really special skill sets with X, the power and the patience, and Chandler Simpson, one of the fastest guys in minor league baseball. Chandler X, how's it going, man? Thanks for stopping by. How's the offseason been?
It's been good. I've been having a good off season, just chilling, getting back into things, getting back into hitting, just working out.
Yeah, same. It's been good. Chilling, working out, hitting, just getting back in the groove.
How much is the offseason sort of a mix of missing baseball, but also a much needed break after you play, 140 plus spring training is, 150 to 180 games. What is that first few months when baseball is done for you guys?
If it it's crazy for me, man. I mean, especially as my first year going into playing a long season. Um, I was tired in the second half, of course. Like I was like, I'm done. Like I don't want to play no more. This, and that. But I just kept going through it, and then like one month after the off season, I was ready to get back into it. And I missed baseball already, so I'm ready to get back into it already.
But yeah, it was about the same. I mean, toward this season, I was getting a little fatigued, a little tired. Body was kind of wearing on me just because of the amount of games. But it was cool to get a little break. The first month of the off season, and then I kind of got that itching feeling again about like a couple months into it. So.
Yeah, I would imagine that the professional game in your first full professional season for both of you, that every single day, Tuesday through Sunday, is something that you really have to adjust to and get used to. What is that like? I mean, it might look one way on paper, but what's it like being in the middle of it when you're playing on Tuesday for the first time and you know you have 5 straight days after that you have to be ready?
It's tough, man. It's you got to be ready to go through or through that week, and use that Monday for that off day and just rest, and then just get ready for that week. And I mean, it's a grind, man. Playing 6 games a week, but I mean, we play this for a living, man. It's baseball, man. So I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Like, I mean, you're in the fire, you in the heat of the game, stuff like that. You with your friends, buddies that you make on the team. Um, you with your friends every day. Y'all competing together. Y'all in the season together. Y'all doing what y'all love. I mean, it's no other greater job to be in. You know what I'm saying? We honestly blessed to be in that position to be playing. So it's nothing else I would rather be doing. So it was fun. It was fun for me.
You brought up being with your friends. I think you have that in high school a little bit. You have that in college. For you, Chandler, you played at two different schools, so you kind of made two different groups of friends. But once you're drafted or signed and you're in a major league organization, I feel like that's just kind of another group of guys that you're really tight with. You're going to be with each other as long as you stay with the Rays for the next who knows how long and hopefully into the big leagues. So is that something that grows the longer you're with an organization after you're drafted? Like you're trying to make friends and these guys are your brothers?
Um, I say that it's just I mean, I say it wasn't not necessarily hard, but I mean, you just find your group of people. It's the same thing like college or high school. I mean, it's a group of people, random people put together at the beginning, and then y'all just find your little group or who you mess with or whatever like that. But I mean, we all trying to reach the same goal. We all got the same dreams, things like that. We all working hard to get to the same place. So I mean, we all kind of mesh. But I mean, obviously, there's gonna be specific groups or little cliques here and there. But I mean, you just find your little group to get you through. I mean, friends, connections, things like that. You hang with them on the off days, after the games, before the games, things like that. It just gets you through the season.
Yeah, for me it was. I mean, it was different for me because I didn't go to college. I didn't stay with my friends in dorms. I didn't do none of that. So it was really, really cool this year, like hanging out with my friends, getting to know them, getting that brotherhood. Even from last year, me and Chan were hanging out every day. And now it's this year, it's the same thing. I mean, it's just like, I mean, it just keeps going on, and we just keep building that brotherhood pretty much. So hope we keep, doing that the same all the way to the big leagues pretty much. So.
I think that baseball is such a cool game because everybody gets there in a different way. Acts like you talked about being drafted out of high school. Chan, you went to college and then get drafted, both very high draft picks as well. But when did the love of baseball kind of take over for you guys? Did you play a different sport as well as baseball, or when was it like, okay, baseball is something that I can make into a job?
Uh, yeah, I hooped a little bit. Growing up, I stopped playing freshman year of high school. So, but I say like the love of the game really clicked in probably in like late middle school, early high school, where I saw that I could make a stride and go into college and then hopefully playing professionally. So yeah, I say like late middle school, early high school.
Yeah, for me it was I hooped a little bit too. I was in the basketball a little bit for the game, and then I fell in love with the game probably my sophomore year. I thought I really had a good chance, like going to play with the Canes and getting on that exposure and just seeing, how the feedback was on my, performance and stuff. So I knew I had a really, really good chance, to be a good baseball player.
And I think that it's funny to hear what guys think about the other person's path. So, Chandler, if you think back to when you were a senior in high school, like, were you ready to play professional baseball, or do you feel like you needed to go to college and get some of that extra seasoning?
Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't ready. I mean, I wasn't ready in none of the aspects, like physically, mentally. Like, I just wasn't ready. I feel like I needed a little bit of quote unquote growing up to do. Like, I just feel like I wasn't my skill set in high school wasn't just ready for professional baseball like X right jumped right into it and got the banging. So, but no, I had to get a couple of years of school in for me to be ready. But I was straight after school after college though.
And X, what about you? Have you thought about, you were committed to Florida? Have you allowed yourself to think about, maybe watching college games this year? Like, what would it have been like if I had gone to Gainesville and gone that route?
Oh, 100%. We were in the locker room going crazy there, watching the College World Series, even during the minor league games. Like, I was tuned in. Even our teammates were tuned in, watching it. I mean, it. I love college baseball, and I would have been loving playing in Omaha right now. But of course, there was a better opportunity here. But I still love those guys at Florida.
I wanted to ask you about the other guy now. So, X, the first time you saw Chandler play in person, maybe watched him run to first or steal a base, what kind of stood out to you, and how fast is he in person?
Um, the fastest man alive. That's one. That is one thing. The second thing, I think the first time I actually saw him run, I think I was batting behind him, and he just took off. And the pitch, I think it was a slide step, and the pitch wasn't even like pretty much thrown. And I already seen him in my vision. And usually, like, you really won't see the guy until like maybe like a couple seconds after.
Sure.
And this dude was pretty much already sliding when the guy was throwing it. I was like, yeah, this guy is very fast, and he's going to be stealing a lot of bases. So I know he's going to get the record next year, more than 100. I know that for sure. That's a fact. So we're going for 100 this year. So
You talked about seeing him in your vision. Is that kind of tough? I mean, the guys have talked about sometimes when you see the player take off from first base out of the corner of your eye, but when he's farther than anybody else is, does that matter at all?
it it's it's hard. I feel like you have to be on the field to see how fast this man really runs because it's really really impressive. But like, I mean, it's just him floating around. It's not. It's effortless. It's just running around the bases effortless. And I know if he steals second and I just get a little base hit up the middle, he's scoring no matter what. We're sending him no matter what. That's an extra RBI for me. So it's like we helping each other out at this point. So
Yeah, my job as a broadcaster, they always tell you, like, don't assume something's going to happen. And I'd heard you were fast, and then we were in Myrtle Beach to start the year, and you hit like a ground ball to second, which I've seen literally 3,000 times, and it's an out every time. And I like started to just go calm, like, okay, ground ball to second, and you beat it by like 3 steps. And I was like, man, I need to figure out how to adjust to this and not just assume things. So I guess the question is, I don't know how you describe it, but what is it like to be that fast? Now, you don't know what it's
Well,
like to be
first,
slow, so you maybe not be able to answer that. But
I mean, um, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely something that I use to the best of my ability. That gives me an advantage and something I can put my best foot forward and to do every day. Something I can bring to the field every day. It's something that I can help my teammates out like X or like Spikes, whoever's hitting in the middle order to get RBIs because that's what they want to do, and they can help me by scoring runs, like he said, to help each other out. But I mean, it's a blessing, honestly. Like I was given a gift, and I'm trying to take full advantage of it. You feel me? And use it to the best of my ability. So
Did you? I know you told me that you were friends with Victor Scott, who was the other guy that you were battling for the stolen base lead. How did that relationship kind of develop, and how did you get to know each other? And then, obviously, how fun was it competing with him for the minor league lead?
yeah, yeah. So I met Vic. I went to the Northwoods League in 2021 summer, and we both played on the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders up there. I was there a little bit, like 2 weeks before him, and then I heard like this dude Victor Scott was coming in. He was pretty fast or whatever. He was a good player. We always had mutual friends because we both from Atlanta, so we always had mutual friends, but we never met each other in person. You feel me? So when we got there, I mean, it was an instant click. Like our work ethic was the same, our game was the same. It's speed, get on base, table setter. You know what I'm saying? We batted 1-2 the whole year, and then we played in the Cape that following summer. Still kept in contact, and now we best of friends, talk every day now. So, and it was fun, like competing with him. We had a little friendly bet at the beginning of the year, see who's gonna get bats. We didn't know it was gonna get up to that much, but I mean, we was racing for it, so we was going back
He,
and forth the whole year.
yeah.
I have to ask you. I'm from like 15 minutes from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. What's it like going from Atlanta to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin? There's not a lot in common there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it was terrible, but uh, I'm gonna say it was different. It was definitely different. I mean, it wasn't a downtown. It wasn't a city. Like it didn't have an American deli up there. You feel me? So like it was definitely different. Had to change my ways of moving around and stuff. But I mean, I loved it. Like it's all love from Fond du Lac for sure.
And then I want to flip it around on you. So when you saw X for the first time, as you mentioned, he's 18. When you saw him when he showed up in, I guess we weren't in Port Charlotte that year, were we? Or was it before the storm?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it
FCL.
was before the hurricane. So when you saw
Yeah,
him
Port
for the
Charlotte.
first time, what was it like to watch him hit a baseball or just watch him play baseball in person?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I knew we was all watching the draft, so I knew as first round pick coming in was a big dude. Cause I had looked him up, for real, cause I remember he said he didn't play like that past summer, right, twin?
Yeah.
Right, so he didn't play that past summer, so I ain't really never heard him on the circuit or whatever. Looked him up or whatever, saw that he played on the Canes, thing like that, and I'm seeing all these bombs that went viral on YouTube. I'm like, so he's smacking it. So we get there, boy, I'm trying to see it in person. First BP, he hitting 111, 112. I'm like, okay, man, this dude hit. So we go to Charleston, and then like we got the what's it called, the hit tracks on every BP. He smacking stuff like that, and then he got to figuring it out during the season and got the average up, things like that, and it was crazy. Like we went to Bowling Green and hit like 500 up there, and we all like, man, this dude is definitely finna be a big leaguer. Like got his body right, mind right, swing is crazy. Like man, he gonna be up there for sure. We going 30 for sure on God this year too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When did you realize then that you could hit a ball farther than, the other guys you were playing with, and that like this is different? To you it's probably just playing baseball, right? But at what point did you realize, X, that I can do something that most people can't?
I mean, I was always a big kid. I mean, I had the power. Like when I was younger, of course, everybody was a little bit smaller than me, so I thought like, oh, I just have power just because I'm big, pretty much. And then I ended up getting into like middle school, high school. Like, okay, guys are starting to get as big as me, but the power is still not there. So
It's
I'm
not the
like,
same.
all right. So I think I still got a little bit of power, but I still have that hit tool. And then I just started, like you said, I figured it. I was trying to figure out in the first half, ended up getting it in the second half, and then just everything started working from there. And then the power, I mean, it's God gifted, man. It's just the working now is it's putting in play now too. So it's gonna work out both ways. But when I was younger, God gifted, 100%.
I
He got
remember
some speed
talking to
on him too.
Speed too. Tell him. Yes, sir.
He got some speed. He can move a
I
little
was
bit
going to
too.
say he stole some bases. I don't know if you have the green light on every pitch as much as Chandler does, but I mean, you didn't get thrown out this year, did you?
No, I didn't. 12 for 12. Did not get thrown. Let's go. Yes.
I know you were really proud about the way that you reshaped your body the year you were drafted into this season. How important was that for you? How much better did you feel?
Bro, it was it. If I had my body last year, there was no way I was making it through this year. There's no way because it's a long, long season and it's durability. You got to stay healthy, and I knew going into my first off season, I got to put that work in and just get on the move because I don't have that long. I know I have, the talent. I just got to get my body right, try to stay in shape, make sure I can just play every day. Pretty much, that was just the goal, and everything just pretty much worked out how it went. And I mean, I ain't done yet. My body's not done yet. I'm still young, so I got some time to grow still. So
And Chandler, you told me that you could remember you've never lost a race. Is that still true a few months later?
Yeah, that's most definitely true.
Is
Most
there
definitely
is
true.
there
I think
anybody
I'm
you would
gonna have to
like
come.
to race?
It would like to race.
Like
I
a
mean,
Tyreek Hill or
I
like one of those track stars, or who is there somebody that you would love to just run a 100-yard dash against?
Tyreek, he could hit my phone. Usain, he
mm,
could hit my phone. I will fly to Jamaica on some. Billy, when I saw Billy, I wanted to race, but I let him chill because I didn't want to.
full
You
of
feel
him.
me? I was
You know
I
what
was
I'm
kind
saying?
of.
Full of him.
You feel me? So, but yeah, like Tyreek, Usain, D, Billy, all those dudes I looked up to growing up, speed wise, try to learn from them. I would definitely just be honored to race them for sure.
Is that something you watched? I think everybody kind of became fascinated with Billy Hamilton first, and I don't know how many people knew
Mhm.
that he signed with the Rays toward the end of last year, and then like Terrence Gore and Gerard Dyson when the Royals won. Was that something you looked at and you were like, okay, I know that I'm that fast as well. Like, there's a real avenue to get to the big leagues.
Yeah, most definitely. Like just watching D Billy, I used to watch them before my high school games. So like to meet him in person was crazy. Like I tried to not fanboy him because I'm like I watched him before my high school games, college games, even the games this season. But definitely coming up through high school, I knew what my game was. I know what type of player I was, and I knew that those dudes were doing at the highest level. So for me to get to the highest level that I want to get at, then I knew I had to pick some things off of them. So those are definitely dudes that I looked up to for sure.
I've been fortunate enough to be with a couple of different big league organizations, but I wanted to pick your guys' brain a little bit on the quality of coaching you get here, and the way that it's every day. There's different people in spring training and then at each level that kind of have different ideas on how to make what you do even better. And Chandler, obviously you worked with Perry at UAB, and so then to have him as your hitting coach, Perry Roth, here in Charleston, I would imagine there was some comfort there when you started your full season career.
Yeah, most definitely. It was some comfort seeing a familiar face in the field that I really didn't have any experience in. I mean, it was my first year, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And the fact that I had him, somebody that I had known for a while previous to pro ball, it was a good relationship already established, and it was comfort already established as well. So it made it much easier to adapt and to get rolling throughout the season.
And Ax, how much have you learned just going from high school baseball and obviously the travel ball circuit as well, but how much have you learned just having all these tools and talking to different people who have spent their entire life trying to make baseball players better?
It's a dream. First of all, like just you got to pick everybody's brain and see a lot of things who's in common pretty much, and I just try to base it off there. I don't like out of the bloom stuff of people just saying out of norm stuff pretty much. And I just get all those things, pick their brains, and like whatever that most common thing is, I just stick to that, and it works. And I'm more of I don't I've never really had a hitting coach like that. I'm more just figure it out on my own and just my body it works. And I think nobody knows their swing more than they do. So
I think what impressed me about both of you more than maybe anything else is your patience, discipline in the batter's box in a day and age in baseball where strikeouts aren't viewed as necessarily a bad thing. Both of you have kind of talked about hating the thought of striking out and heading back to the dugout that way. So if each of you, whoever wants to go first, Chan, if you want to start, but like, how important is it to show plate discipline and put together a good at bat, and then at least put the ball in play with your speed?
Yeah, it's the first step of bags, runs, getting on base. Like getting on base is the most important thing. Like it's the name of the game. Honestly, if you don't get on base, then you're walking back to the dugout. Nothing can happen. So putting the ball in play with two strikes, it's like you giving yourself an opportunity, no matter what the percentage is, to hopefully get on base, and then you can make something happen out of that. But just striking out is just, especially as a speed dude, like I mean, the amount of hate that I have for striking out is crazy to even think about. But yeah, it's great to have a lot of plate discipline. I learned from X during the season. He got walked a lot. I asked him what he looked for at the plate. CC also got walked a lot as well on our team. So just asking around and learning from different people, no matter what the age or how they doing, like you can still learn, and just knowing how I can get better every day with plate discipline. Because on base percentage is my game, and that's what I got to keep excelling at for me to stay.
Yeah, and
And
like
actually,
Chan
I mean,
said,
you're known for your power, but you hate striking out as well.
yeah, I hate it. I don't. I really don't like it. It's a very pet peeve of mine, and I wish I could just put the ball in play and have chance speed and just run out. A little shortstop ball. To the shortstop. But it as a power guy too. I hate striking out, and I try to keep them as low. And it's just like you said, it's plate discipline. Really, it's you don't want to swing at those edge pitches because that's when you get your pitch down the middle, that pitch that you really really want, and that 2-1 count, that 3-1 count that you've been waiting for, instead of swinging at that 0-1 count, a changeup, whatever. If it's just in the zone, pretty much. So I just try to work that pitcher and to my favor. Don't let the pitcher work me, pretty much. So
I wanted to ask you guys a little bit more about Charleston, but before I do that, Chandler, switching from an infield spot in college to the outfield, what was that like, and what was kind of the biggest challenge?
It was a new experience. I just had to basically learn something all over again. I had a little experience in the outfield, but I knew it was something. People just kept telling me that it was easy, that I would adjust well, and I could just use my athleticism. But it's a lot more to that. Just on different reads on the ball, and cutting runners off, and DRS and WAR and things like that that you could get into. But it was a smooth transition. I'm still learning. I'm gonna be learning until the end of my career. You feel me? Because it's something that I started late on. So I'm just kind of picking the brains of different outfielders that I know, like anybody that I play with, ask them where they set up here, read swings, things like that. So I'm still on the go. I'm still learning right now. So, but it was a smooth transition for sure.
People have told me that center field can be a little bit easier because if you can get to the ball, it's supposed to be yours. Is that the case with you as well, whereas in the corners you kind of have to defer or decide who's going to take the ball?
Yeah, most definitely. Center field is easier just because you have command. Everybody knows you have command, and you have a lot of open space to run. You have no walls that is um, restricting you per se. But it's you're the head honcho out there. So it's fun out there. You get a lot of breathing room. You can go get stuff. So yeah.
So after a year for both of you at the complex, you're playing in front of scouts and just a few people. What had you heard, X, about Charleston and what it was going to be like to play here and the fans? And then what was it like when you actually saw it on opening night?
uh, well, I heard it was supposed to be electric, like one of the best minor league stadiums ever. So I was pumped. I didn't even want to go. I think we went to Myrtle Beach. I think we were away games first. I wanted to play at home just right then and there. I was ready to just get everything going right then and there. But arriving, it was a beautiful city. I love the city. I love the stadium. I'm gonna miss it, honestly. I wish it was a triple A or a double A or something that was a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? But of course, going there as a first option is really spoiling because going to these other minor leagues, you're like, this is nothing compared to Charleston.
What about for you, Chandler?
Yeah, I heard the same thing. A couple when we was both in the FCL, like a couple guys got moved up. to Charleston when we was there, and when we had came back, and when they had came back for instructs, I think they had told us about it and said how cool it was and how the atmosphere was electric and the amount of fans and Thursday night Thursdays and all that stuff and how it was just a great atmosphere to play in. So I couldn't wait for the next year that I got the chance to go there. So and I loved it while the time I was there.
Does it take a little bit of time on Thursday nights to get used to batting with a DJ blasting music in the background, or do you not really notice that?
I don't hear it. I
Nah, you
really
be
don't
locked
hear
in.
it
You be
at
locked
all.
in.
I didn't hear
Yeah,
it.
you be locked in.
Yeah, I didn't hear it at one bit at all.
Yeah,
On the
nah.
field you can hear it a tiny bit, but like
Mhm.
in the batter's box, I don't hear nothing. So
Yeah,
Chandler, I have to ask
same.
you about. I don't know if you'll remember. We had the Step Brothers night, and X and Ryan Spikes did an incredible rap performance. I think it was called Boats and Joes.
Boats and Joes, gotta have more. Boats and Joes, Boats and Joes, Boats and Joes, gotta have more. Boats and Joes.
Hmm.
Like, what did you think about that performance that you saw, and how would you rate both Spikes and X in their performance?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a smooth little rap. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they both y'all didn't both see their talent because of the beat, but I feel like they both would have had a better beat than y'all could see the real Atlanta in them. You feel what I'm saying? Since we the home of rap, you feel me? So, but I feel like it was good for the beat that they got. Like for what they was giving, I'm gonna give it a 10 for sure. Like I'm gonna give it a 10.
yes, sir.
And is it true, X, that you've never seen the movie Step Brothers, or you hadn't when you did the rap?
Never seen it.
Okay.
Never
Well, I
seen
mean,
it.
hey, it was pretty good then.
Yeah, I mean, I did what I could because it was hard, but we had to learn it quick.
I know you said you love playing in Charleston, but I would imagine it's not the most kind place to hit home runs. And I know you were frustrated a few times walking back to the dugout where you're like, I don't know what I need to do. Does that get in your head at all? I don't think you can let it as a professional, right? But is it a little bit frustrating when the wind's blowing in off the river and you hit a ball that you feel like is going to go 500 feet and it gets caught on the morning track?
Yeah, it. I mean, of course, it bothers you a little bit because it's like, gosh, the wind is just gonna just bother me today. Like even just coming into the ball field every day, I look at the flags just to see what's gonna happen. Like I would come in midday, the wind would be blowing straight out to right, and then the game would come and it's blowing straight in now, and I'm like, this is crazy. But I mean, you gotta play what you can play with, and it's like you can't do anything about it. You can't. I mean, that's baseball. So I mean, even making the transition from Charleston to Bowling Green, going from there, I mean, it was like a boom box. It felt literally everything was going out. So it kind of honestly helped me. So I wouldn't really regret it, but you just got to put in a little bit more effort in Charleston. So
And Chandler, when you were here, I think you were possibly the first guy to wear the dog chain when that came out. You had the walk-off hit here. I think it was a Sunday afternoon, and
Hmm.
everybody piled out there, and you had the dog chain. And that was a time when the team was really struggling as far as on-field results. And I think Smed was like, "Hey, we need to have something that is kind of fun and cool for the guys." I mean, what did you think of the dog chain? It looked pretty good. There's some good pictures of you with it.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I love the dog chain. I felt like it gave like us something to play for, just to rather than just to hit a home run or do something cool and then just come back to the dugout like everything was normal. But it gave us some like a little celebration because I mean it's a lot of the game that's a little like stale, things like that. So it was exciting for some. It was something for us to play for, a little symbol, a little chain, like just like that could turn the season around. So it was great. I loved it.
And actually, I think you were part of back-to-back-to-back home runs at one point, so you didn't really get to enjoy the chain for too long. You just hand it to the next guy. That's always fun, though.
yeah, yeah, I was the first one in it,
Okay.
and I think I came around, got to the back of the dugout, and then I came up the stairs, and then Spikes is already hitting another home run and coming around second. So I'm making my way to the other side. Gave it to him. I think it was first pitch too, so it was like right boom doom. So I gave it right to him, and then let's keep going. Let's pass it around and give it to John Diaz too. So that was a great game too. So it was fun.
you guys were part of that first half when, I mean, the team finished in last place, but to a man, you guys said, look, we're not a bad baseball team and we're going to figure it out at some point. Now, part of that happened once you guys had moved on to Bowling Green, but what made you guys say that and 100% confidence that that wasn't the way the whole season was going to go?
I mean, from the first half, like I just felt like everybody had to get used to it. Everybody wasn't really comfortable. Not everybody was confident. So nothing really was going our way pretty much. And then second half click, everybody got a little break. And then we went on like a 9 game away series, ended up losing like 1 game out of 9. And then after that, everybody just started rolling, pitching started rolling, hitting started rolling. So it was just keep the momentum, and that's when you said the dog chain started coming in. Everybody was just having fun instead of just stressing about losing. It's just having a great time, pretty much.
From your perspective, Chandler, did you have that same thought that, like, we're not winning games right now, but eventually the amount of talent that's here is going to figure it out?
Yeah, I knew it was gonna turn around. I mean, we had a lot of talent on the team. Like on paper, I mean, I feel like we was the best team in the Carolina League. So, I mean, I knew that. I mean, Schmidt kept preaching that it was gonna turn around. He kept giving us faith. And then, like, I feel like the more we had chemistry and we kept playing with each other, then the more we was getting used to filling each other out, like getting each other in, like sacrificing basically to win the game. You feel me? Instead of being selfish. So I feel like that's one of the reasons that we turned it around because later in the season, a lot of teams they'll move their players up, and like the team will be full of new people. And as we stayed together most of the whole year, like we gained chemistry and things like that, and that's why we like made a push to win the whole thing.
And both of you eventually did earn that promotion to High A, which is something when you're playing well, you're just wondering when it's going to happen, I would imagine. But Chandler mentioned you hit like 500 there. The home runs are come a little bit faster in Bowling Green. But what is the biggest difference maybe between, and this is for both of you, but X, if you want to start, between low A and then the high A level?
For me, of course, I'm gonna say this now. It's for me, it was a little bit easier hitting there because just like you said, like Charleston, the wind it was killing me sometimes, but for me, like just going to Bowling Green, I feel like I got challenged a little bit more with fastballs, change ups, like real down the middle. Everything is like near the zone, kind of. The game speed's pretty much the same. I just feel like the pitching is just probably a tiny bit better and a little bit more, located. But like, I felt great in high A, so I'm not gonna talk anything bad on high A. I think it feels easier in my opinion. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I said higher was definitely easier just because they were around the zone more. Like you said, like it was easier just because they were on the plate. I mean, low A they'll dot one up on you, and then the next one they could be at your head. Like you never know. You feel me? So that's the reason why it was hard to hit in low A. Like, but high A it was around the plate. I mean, like you said, high A BG like the ball was going. Like we didn't have any wind that really restricted us. It definitely didn't restrict him. But you feel me? So, but yeah, it was definitely easier to hit high because they were just around the plate more.
And then the team makes the playoffs. You guys were both in Bowling Green. Actually, you had the chance to come back and play in those playoff games with the River Dogs. How cool was it to get that taste of high A, have a lot of success, but then come back and kind of finish the job here and be a part of the celebration?
It was fun. I mean, we ended up going to Myrtle Beach. Um, Ended up blowing them out pretty much, like no remorse, and ended up having really fun there. And then come back, play down east. It was nothing to us. I felt like it was just getting through Myrtle Beach was the tough part. Let's just get through there, and then we'll be good and down east. But it was really, really fun, especially playing in front of that environment. Game two, or my last game in Charleston, pretty much like it was one of the best games ever. That last out, it was very, very electric. So I'm gonna miss it.
And then Chandler, even though you had moved on, is that something that you guys who had played here are trying to follow along with what's going and cheer these guys on from afar?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I watched every playoff game they had. Just because I mean, I know X went back, so I was seeing how he played, see how Spice played. I mean, seeing how all the bros played that I was down there with. So I played with them. We all played together for so long that year. I wanted to see them get a chip. I wanted to see them finish it in Charleston, and then they got the job done.
That last game that clinched the championship, the first inning, 7 runs, X, and the big cap to that was Raudelis Martinez hitting the home run. How intense of a guy is he to be around? Because I always felt like when he did something really good, he was almost more intense than when something wasn't going right. But what kind of intensity did he bring?
It was fire, and that's what I loved about our catchers. All of our catchers had like that fire in them, and they always Dom, Galarraga, like you said, Martinez. Martinez is just he's that we call him El Loco. He's crazy, man. It's just you never know what's gonna happen. And that guy, when he hit that home run, I already knew when he was standing at the plate it was just about to go down, and it was one of the best moments I've ever seen that dude have. And he was very very excited. So I missed that kid.
Ronnie Richardson, the River Dogs bench coach, told me that he was going to call him El Loco and that Martinez told him he wanted to be called Loco y Media, which means crazy and a half, which I think is not a bad nickname.
I can see that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
crazy.
That's great. That's El
That's
Loco
crazy.
right there. That is El Loco for
That's
you.
wild.
All right, just wanted to ask you a couple of other quick questions. As far as pitchers that you've played with, who's maybe one guy that you think would give you a really tough challenge? Guy that you played with the River Dogs or Bowling Green or while with the Rays? Who's a guy that maybe would give you a really good matchup on the mound?
Um, I'm gonna say Cook. I'm gonna say Cook just because. I mean, me and Cook go back and forth. Me and Alex go
Yeah.
back and forth. I mean, we all friends, we all bros, but um, we be talking trash to each other about I get a hit off him, he'll strike me out, this, that, and the third, and he got some good stuff. And Alex is a hell of a pitcher. He had a hell of a year too, so I feel like me and Alex would go back and forth for sure. That'd be a good matchup.
And for me, I want Marcus Johnson. I want him so bad. He's been calling my name. He think he can strike me out. This, and that. I'm not letting that happen. I'm not saying I'm gonna get hit, but I'm not letting him striking me out. But that's the one guy I want. And Cook, Alex Cook too can get it too. Yeah, he can get it. He can
Yeah,
get
we
it.
might have to show this clip to Alex Cook and see what he has to say at some point. But
Yeah.
that would be a pretty good
He might have to
matchup.
get him
So
on his next.
So Chandler's offseason plans are to race Usain Bolt in Jamaica and then just get in a one-on-one matchup with Alex Cook.
And then one more bowl versus X because he
Yes.
think he better than me in bowling, but you're not. That's the last offseason plan.
Me and Chan are bowling now, and we're taking it serious.
You're
And I'm gonna beat,
bowling?
I'm
Oh
gonna beat
wow.
him.
Bowling shoes,
Really?
ball, 2 balls, bag, all that. Like
So who's
Everything.
actually better? You both think you're actually better?
I have
He,
the higher score. I bowled a 250 2 days ago on Monday. I bowled a 250. So I
I
mean,
I got a 218, but he's been bowling longer than me. I only been bowling for like 3 weeks. And this man has
Okay,
been bowling
okay.
for like a
So
year.
so when you get your experience to the same point as his, you're confident that'll be 260, 270 probably?
Easily. Easily.
That's good stuff. This needs to be on video, I think. I think the people
Hey,
in Charleston would enjoy this.
every Monday we're playing. Every
oh,
Monday.
wow, I
Every
go
off
like two,
day.
3 times a week.
Dude, I be going a lot. I gotta get my work in.
Yeah, man.
Did this like? Why did you pick up bowling? Did Chandler start talking trash and you had to do it then, X, or where did that come from?
Well, I had my cousin used to bowl a little bit, and then my brother was big into bowling, and he's like 8 years old. He got his own ball and stuff, and then he wanted me to start going bowling. So I was like, you know what? I might as well get a ball. Chan plays a little bit. I can have somebody that can go with, on Mondays type. So I might as well get him, get a little competition going. So, get his little head talked up a little bit. He'll get it going a little bit.
What was it like this year to play your first full season in the Southeast, kind of close to home for both of you?
it,
It was good. It was cool. Family got to come to a couple of games, especially when we was in Augusta and in Myrtle Beach, and they came to My dad would come to Charleston every once in a while, so it was smooth. Like it was cool that it was close to home, and that my family got to come. Honestly,
yeah, for me, like I love when my family's in the stands pretty much, and they're always there. It felt like, and I'm from like North Carolina, so I mean everything was in that area in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. So they would make those trips Saturday, Sunday just to at least come watch a couple games, and it meant the most to me honestly because not knowing nobody in the stands, it's weird. It's a weird feeling, but you got to go through it. But when you have your family there, it's like you want to play great. So it's a good feeling.
We've had a few days to think about it. What do you think of Shohei Ohtani's contract?
That's crazy.
I feel like he's very smart
Yeah,
getting the 680 deferred. I think he's probably the richest man on earth, and he the smartest man on earth. So
yeah. I mean, he
yeah,
gonna
so
probably just live off
he's good.
endorsements. He don't need that contract anymore.
Yeah,
So
come on, he deserve it too. I mean,
yeah, he does. He's really a very good player. I don't think anybody's gonna be up there yet until a couple more years.
And you mentioned, he deserves it. He's as equally as dominant of a pitcher as a hitter. So, X, if you were a pitcher, and then the same question for you, Chan, like what would be your go-to calling card if you were on the mound? Like, would you have a fastball in the upper 90s or a big breaking ball? Would you just have would you come out with the big goggles and some long hair just to
I'll be like
intimidate?
a big. I feel like I'll just be like a big like fastball guy throwing 95, 98, just lefty, just trying to throw it. Like I'm like a relief closing pitcher that just comes in here and gives it all out for one inning, and then that's it. My arm is done. It's toast.
yeah, that's the same for me. Like I want to throw upper 90s. I'm throwing it every pitch. You know it's coming. You're not gonna hit it. You feel me? Like I'm throwing it right down the middle. You know it's coming. You're not gonna hit it, and I just want to have the upper 90s fastball.
All right, and then the last question I have is, who was the craziest in a good way teammate with the River Dogs this year that you looked forward to coming to the clubhouse and you knew that they were going to keep everybody locked in and entertained?
Probably
Oh,
I mean Martinez, aka El Loco and a half. He was cool coming to the park every day.
I like
Just seeing him because I already knew it was gonna be something new every day. So
I like
I'll go with him.
Galarraga. That was my guy. He used
Got
to
right.
he used to literally come around. I mean, like he used to always have a smile on his face every day, just coming in with joy, trying to win this game, hyping everybody up. You're gonna hit a home run, Poppy. I mean, I love that kid. That guy was
Yeah.
one of my best teammates.
Yeah, I love Galarraga too.
Awesome. Well, again, guys, really appreciate the time. I really enjoyed watching you here with the River Dogs, and I know everybody here in Charleston is excited to watch you guys and where you go in the future, and hopefully we'll see you at the Trop or another big league ballpark in the near future. But thanks again for stopping by. Really appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Three Pete After Me. We'll be back again in the new year with a couple of players who are a big part of the championship run again. Make sure to like or comment on Facebook, Twitter, X, or on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk to you again soon.